Good evening. I'd like.
Microphone closer to you.
Thank you. I'd like to call to order the Town of Rockport Board of Selectmen's meeting for September 11th, 2018. At this time, I'd like everyone to rise for a moment of a pledge of allegiance, a moment of silence, and Vice Chair Campbell would like to say a few words. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's moment of silence is dedicated to those who perished 17 years ago today and to those who continue to bear the burden of that day's events.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I just briefly wanted to make two other comments before we get started tonight. Last week, Rockport lost a dedicated citizen, and I like to think that her presence here made the town brighter, and that was Marty Colburn, Sam Colburn's wife, who passed away. I first met Marty when I was going to say younger, when I was first running for the Board of Selectmen, and they had me to their house for coffee. And she was kind of like a drill sergeant, like, what are you going to do for the town? It was like kind of like I was being interviewed. And I will always remember them having me into their home, and how warm she was. So the town is sorry for their loss. And obviously we send our thoughts to Sam, who actually might be joining us tonight, maybe for Millbrook. And then also, for those of you who haven't heard, last week, unfortunately, there was a diving accident in town off of the Emerson Inn. And sadly, the diver lost his life. He wasn't from, I believe he was from Philadelphia. So we send our thoughts and prayers to his family and loved ones. And just a huge thanks go out to all of our emergency personnel. I actually got to see kind of firsthand just how, like, when anything happens in this town, dozens and dozens of volunteers stop what they are doing in their tracks. And in this case, I think it went on for close to 2 days that Mitch was texting us emails, and we all saw kind of what goes into it. But a search and rescue, and unfortunately one ended up being a recovery. But people have no idea. Sometimes people will say, oh, Rockport has a volunteer fire department, so they work full-time jobs, and when they feel like it, go to ambulance calls or fire calls. But they literally, these men and women, drop everything and do absolutely everything they can. And I know, Mitch, you were there from the moment that it happened until the recovery the next day. So thank you. And unfortunately it was a sad outcome, but it was thankful that they were able actually to locate his body. Absolutely. So please send I know oftentimes we do a letter to all of the emergency service workers, thanking them.
We certainly will. We'll be having a debriefing in the next week or so, and I'll share the board's sentiments and provide a letter as well. Great.
And I will say that coincidentally, both the police chief and the fire chief were out of town, as it was like Labor Day weekend, and they both had scheduled kind of vacations, and so people underneath them kind of stepped in to take command, and all seemed to go really well.
I think everything went very well. Lieutenant Schmink stepped in for Chief Horvath, and Assistant Chief Keating and Captain Abel and Assistant Chief Porter stepped in for Chief Doyle. Yeah. Everything went very smooth.
Yeah. So thanks. Anyone else?
No, just one thing if we can. Francis can't hear. It's a little tough. Becca, is there a way you can turn the volume up on the speakers in here?
I think if you get the microphones a little closer.
Is the volume? Do these speakers have volume higher?
It was the same for Mitch and myself. It's really just.
It's tough. How's that? Is that any better?
I think if
Get them real
that
close.
good?
Better.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Thank you, Becca.
Great. Thanks. Okay. That's much better. There we go. I feel like it's on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Okay, first, I just saw her walk in. We have an interview of Kate John Shaw, as a member of the Building Study Committee. Good evening, Kate.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry. I totally skipped public comment. Hold on 1 minute. Public comment. Mr. Sepula? And we also had comments if everyone who speaks tonight could go over to that microphone and speak into
Yes,
it.
Z. Sepula, 92 Granite Street. I just wanted to comment on an article coming up on the town meeting, Article E, the $25,000 for the restoration, rehabilitation, preservation of Davis Park. That got a little bit of commentary here at your last meeting, as a result of which I went down there to take a walk through it. I didn't even know where it was, but it's down at, adjacent to the park, or the flatland there at Old Garden Beach. And I don't know exactly what is going to be restored, rehabbed, or preserved down there. It looked to me like it's in pretty much pristine shape. So I'm just saying, if comes up at town meeting, I hope that there will be some real good, strong defense of what they want to do down there. For $25,000, I can't see that it needs anything, just based on what I saw. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Toby?
Toby Arsenian, can you hear?
Yes.
Toby Arsenian, 95 Granite Street. 2 meetings ago, Harry Korsland spoke about his concerns about the tool company. At the subsequent meeting, the subject came up, but we weren't told anything. What we were told was that there was a court ruling to come down the next day. So presumably at this meeting, we'd get some sort...
Give an update. Go ahead.
We'd get some sort of an update on the tool company. Beyond that, I feel that we're owed something more. In the past, the board has promised that we would get regular updates. We haven't. We tend to get updates when someone complains, Mr. Sepula, Mr. Korsland, Mr. Arsenian, and not otherwise. What would be really helpful for everyone would be if you would make a list of all of the permits that have been issued and the expiration dates, and a list of the ones that are now current. Would you consider doing that?
I can't do that. I don't,
Is that something we have
Somebody could-
available?
they could,
Do you have like a spreadsheet for that?
Let me look into.
yeah, I mean, maybe you could ask
We can-
the building and, I'm not sure.
Yeah, let me
We
look
could
into
think
that
about
a
who would
little
be
bit further.
appropriate to ask
Sure,
to do that.
Sure,
Mitch, would you mind giving an update?
certainly.
Thank you.
Would you like me to do it now, Madam Chair, or in my
Please,
updates?
Why don't you do it now?
Certainly. So the town and the Department of Environmental Protection through the Attorney General's office has been in court the last 2 Mondays. The previous Monday, we received the town and the state received a preliminary injunction from the Superior Court to stop all work. There was an additional hearing that was held this past Monday seeking to extend the injunction. There was significant back and forth by all the parties involved. And the judge took that under advisement, but he did continue his previous order while he makes his final ruling. So there is some discussion with the landing group and DEP about what may be acceptable with the license that they have in place. But that's all still in the discussion phase as part of working through the court process. But the preliminary injunction is in place at this time pending a final ruling from the court.
A second subject. I have in front of me the warrant, but it's draft 8/14/18. Is that still current? 8/14/18.
Madam Chair, there are copies posted upstairs. There's some here if any individual.
So why don't you,
Needs
maybe you
it.
should just grab one of these to make sure.
Well, if it's changed, I need to correct myself, but I'm giving notice to the moderator that I'll offer amendments to Articles J and K in the 8/14/18 version. Those are 2 of the zoning articles. I'll move to refer those to the planning board, just so that that's on record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else for public comment? Nope. Okay, moving on. Kate, sorry I made that mistake.
Kate
Welcome.
Johns Shaw,
Welcome.
9 Athena Way.
Nice to see you. And Little Bird told me that this is the last opening on the building study committee, which is seems like a miracle. It seems like we were just, right? I feel like we were just here with Monica trying to beg Monica to be
Yeah.
more than one person. So this is exciting. We have obviously seen your letter, but if you wouldn't mind just telling the audience and the millions of TV viewers a little bit about yourself, which I know you've done for your historic work as well.
I've been a practicing architect for 40 years now, and much of my work has involved studying existing buildings for new uses and adaptive reuse and space planning issues. And when Monica described, and I also spoke with Bruce Reed, what the needs of this committee were, it sounded like it was something that I'd kind of been doing for 40 years, and that maybe I could help with it, and would be very happy to do so if it's helpful to the town.
Great.
It is.
Great. Are there questions or comments from the board?
No, just thank you, Kate, for stepping up
Absolutely.
on yet another committee.
Yeah. Ruth?
Same thing, just thank you for stepping up, that's great.
Ditto. Thank you.
I'm amazed how many
welcome.
architects we have.
I
Right?
know, yeah.
You seem to have
Yeah.
a lot of, that's great.
Plethora
So,
of them.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. So, as is our practice with appointments, we will vote on the nomination
Let's make the
tonight.
motion.
We'll make the motion, vote on the nomination, but then we'll vote for confirmation at our next meeting. But you don't have to be here for that. You can get to work. Thanks so much. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
There
Denise.
is. I move that the board nominate Kate John Shaw for a term on the Building Study Committee to expire on June 30th, 2019.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Next, we have interview of Francis Fleming as the member of the Rockport Cultural Council.
I'm getting some feedback on these.
Yeah,
it-
maybe
you
just 'cause
guys-
it's loud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Is it, can you hear Francis? Okay now? Yes. Okay, because these things.
I should have said former Board of Select woman, Francis Fleming.
Well, thank you,
Welcome.
dear.
Nice to see you, as always.
Yes.
So, would you like to tell us a little bit about your interest on the Cultural Council?
I would. I taught in the western part of the state in 3 small schools, and I taught creative movement, dance, phys ed, and in one of the schools I team taught with the music teacher, and we had creative movement classes every week, and we also directed the school plays every year. And then when I moved here, I taught at Eastern Point Day School part-time as a phys ed teacher, but always thinking about creative movement and dance and bringing it in. My master's is in the creative arts in learning, and I got that from Lesley University, then college. And I was involved with amateur dramatics in the western part of the state before I moved here. I love to sing. I've sung in choirs, and I'm really, my husband's a sculptor. We've always been interested in the arts, and I've been a potter for many years, so I love the arts. They feed me, they nurture me, and I would love to be a part of this committee and
Great,
bring what I can to the town, okay?
great.
Wonderful.
Questions, comments from the board?
No, this is one of my liaison assignments, so it's great to see you come on board. It's needed, so that's fantastic. Thank you.
And will
Thank
this fill the Cultural Council as well? We must be
If it
close,
doesn't
right?
fill it, it's very close, which is
Yeah.
critical so that we can continue to
Lot
get
of
the grant
people,
money.
yeah.
So
Great.
we're thrilled. for
Great.
this, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and then, as I said, tonight we'll vote the nomination, the next time we'll vote the confirmation. Is there a motion?
Yes, there is. I move that the board nominate Francis Fleming for a term on the Rockport Cultural Council to expire on June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded.
hear me?
Any,
Mm-hmm.
any further discussion? Thank you so much, Francis, for stepping forward yet again for
Well,
something
thank
else.
you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. If you guys don't mind, I just wanted to skip ahead. The gentleman for the Not, N-A-U-T store is here. I think it will be really quick to just do a sign permit. If you want to just, perfect. Would you mind just introducing yourself for the record? Great, thank you. And is there a motion?
There is.
Great.
I move that the selectmen approve the sign permit for the Knott Store of 6 Stock Square, number 3.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. And Mitch, this is before us.
Because it exceeds the 10 square feet requirement, so the building inspector had to deny it, send it
Right.
to the board for
Okay, great. Okay. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the store and the sign?
So
It's also good advertising.
Yeah, I've been in advertising for the past 30 years. I've worked, I started up here working for Cirque and ended my tenure with them as an executive creative director working on Marlboro Gear, Nike, M&M, Mars, Tommy Hilfiger. I've been in my own private practice ad agency for the past 20 years with an old Rockport man named Tom Gardner, who's no longer around here. But I've got deep roots in this community, and my ad agency has become very viral in the past 15 years, so I don't need to be in Boston any longer, and I always had planned to come back up here and start a lifestyle brand. We're serviced by Vineyard Vines and Black Dog and some companies that are Cape and Island based, but the nautical shore of Boston, or as I say, the Not Shore, really is underserviced as far as having its own true grit and feet on the street brand. So that's what we'll be. We'll be outerwear, dry goods, mercantile, and very branded, very ad-centric. So just a different twist on the local apparel scene.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
That sounds awesome.
Thanks.
Really does.
I look really forward to.
I love the logo.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting involved in the community. We do a lot of philanthropic things. I've had other companies with Ray Bork and a couple of the local celebrities and athletes. So I look to migrate some of that interest and some of that effort up into this community as well.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you guys so very much.
Thank you.
And then are there questions on the, is
No, I'm good.
everyone's good?
No.
Okay.
I see the
Best of
picture.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Best of
Thank
luck.
you.
When are you going to open?
Hopefully, soft opening around holiday.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Will you let us know? Will you let the office know?
Halloween, hopefully, and
Oh,
then
cool.
for the holidays.
Great. Awesome. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great.
Nice.
Good luck. Thanks. Okay, moving on. Town meeting walkthrough with the town clerk and the town moderator. Welcome.
It's a very colorful tie that the moderator is supporting.
I think it's a Jerry Garcia.
Is it?
Well, no. Dr. Lisi said no.
No, he said yes.
I gotta take this call. I'll be right back.
Excuse me.
So Mitch, the ones on our desk are the same as the table. Okay, thanks.
Completely.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I will turn it over to you, Mr. Moderator. Gladly.
Well, I want to say at the outset.
Bob, excuse me, just point that mic towards you. There you go.
Hello.
There you go.
So to continue a theme of my last appearance before you and the importance and I guess just the great bounty of wonderful volunteers, just hearing the people this evening who are volunteering for positions and how incredibly well qualified they are. It just makes me feel proud to live in this community, and I know we can expect great things from our volunteers, and they're so vitally necessary. So,
Maybe you can repeat that at town meeting.
oh, I would gladly do so.
Great.
So our warrant has thinned down gradually, and I recall telling you that I thought that it would be a several evening meeting, and it looks now like hopefully we will be able to fit all of this in one evening. I mean, we have
took care of
some. This is just about the the perfect size warrant, and we have some, I think, interesting things that will bring in people. Alcohol always does that, and yet I think we can get through it. I know that our newly reconstituted Government and Bylaw Committee reviewed Article O, having to do with
with plastic bags and straws and such. And that was nice, and I think that I'm expecting also great things from that committee, and its numbers are down, but I hope that we can cajole some good people to join that committee as well. So other than that, I don't have a lot to say. I think that some of these zoning articles are housekeeping and others are important substantively.
Yeah, is there can I ask a quick question? Is there a coordinated effort with the Board of Appeals, or who's going to present? Like, I feel like at the last town meeting there was so much confusion over the zoning articles that it caused, like, whenever there's a great amount of confusion, it's like chaos.
These originate from the Zoning Board of Appeals, so the expectation is that they would be presenting. The Planning Board did recommend all of them, so they'll be on standby to provide additional info, but it is on the Zoning Board, and they're aware that they do need to be present.
Okay, great.
And I think that there were more of these originally, and the more, I don't want to say controversial, but
Yeah.
maybe the more
Definitely.
weighty ones were held back.
Great. Yeah.
And so now I'm glad that Toby provided some advance notice on the two that he's going to request go back to the planning board, so that will be a good thing. And I know that I am thankful for this extra week, and I plan to talk to the chair of the ZBA and of the planning board on the zoning articles.
Great.
And I think that's all I have.
Did you want to discuss which you're going to take together, or if you're going to take any together?
I haven't completed that
Okay.
analysis. I
Okay.
mean, it's
fine.
obviously the zoning ones will all go together, and the prior year money ones will all go together. So that pretty much divides them into not very many categories.
Yeah.
One of my favorite times was when you called G and Q together, and you said it was Mr. Murphy's favorite magazine, so, you know.
Well, you are a sharp dresser.
Yeah,
The
well,
world
there
does
you
know
go,
that.
there you go. So we enjoy the humor.
Great. Okay.
All right.
Pat, anything new and exciting?
No, not really, other than we're checking the machine, the little clickers to make sure those are gonna be all set. I don't think we have any problem with anything.
Great.
Everything's
and-
working good.
Year 2 with the clickers? Or
Yeah,
3?
but remember spring we had the issue with the timing, so you two
Well-
were working together on the explaining it.
We're gonna have, when Bob says
Yeah, that
ready,
was more a Bob
set-
issue.
Okay.
I needed to coordinate with
Debbie.
what started their clock, and
Yeah.
so
With
we'll
poor
be
Debbie,
consistent
who I don't
on that.
think will ever
Go.
step foot in a
No.
Rockport town meeting again, but
I remember that.
I think I was out of town when you set up and when we had our little practice at the school.
okay.
So I think,
Now go means go.
yeah,
Okay.
whatever the operative words are, I'll make sure that I
You're
say
on
them
it.
and I'm consistent with them.
Okay. Great.
No, everything was working. It was just a matter of, just as he said, timing.
Okay. All right, Bill, anything from the Finance Committee? Welcome.
No, there was, we did meet and went through the warrant. There was nothing out of the ordinary here. I mean, we've got the couple of transfers or prior bills and transfers, and those are pretty straightforward. And nothing else really struck us as being that pertinent.
Plenty of money, right? No issue.
Well, there's no request for money. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one question. Something was brought up to me today for Article L. It's changing the height of a fence from 6 feet to 7 feet. And there's a Mass General law that anything over 6 feet is considered a spite fence.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we can we, this is a question for Bob, can we, or maybe town council, can we overrule a Mass General law?
Well, I looked at that one today, and I see it as something over 7 feet being a structure. It was in the definition for structure. That anything built that was over,
Definition of structure to allow fences up to
Yeah.
7 feet. But we've never, in our bylaws, it says
6 feet
6
and then,
feet.
and then 4 feet, yeah.
Council did review and did approve it as to form on the legality front anyway, so that they were comfortable.
they were fine with it?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe we should double check. I don't know.
We can certainly check again.
Just to make sure,
Sure.
since it was brought up here now, just
Sure.
so that,
Yeah.
just to anticipate in case it gets brought up
Anticipate in
again.
case
Yeah,
something's brought up.
Exactly.
Yep.
Is Darren, will it be Darren joining us?
Darren
next
will
week?
be,
Okay,
yes.
so at least give him a heads up that it
Sure.
was brought up here in case it's brought up there
Yep.
Monday night. Great. And 7 o'clock Monday night, right?
Yes.
We're gonna meet at 6:15?
So I think at this point, the board could probably meet at 6:30. And
Okay.
it'd be fine, just
Ooh,
some,
living on the edge.
barring any issues, our plan would be to post for 6:30 for the
Okay.
selectmen.
Great. Okay.
Which is open to the public.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else? Bill or Pat or Bob?
The attic, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, who's just brought up?
Thanks for
Talking
coming.
about the definition of go.
I have nothing further.
Nothing further?
Nothing for me.
Good. It's a go. Great.
Quick walkthrough.
Thank you guys for all of your hard work leading up to town
Thank
meeting.
you.
Oh, it's gonna be one night. No-
I'm going to drive people crazy on social media until they just go because they don't want to hear from me anymore.
If it does go a second night, it can't go the next night.
So it has to go on Wednesday?
Yeah.
By the school?
It's Yom Kippur.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Okay.
I don't
So
see
the
it.
next
This-
night-
This seems
No,
fairly.
I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, so we'll just have to
We'll just
talk
do
to
it.
the school department if, you know,
Okay.
it would have to go the following week or something.
You could do the following Monday night,
Yeah.
probably.
No, it'll be fine.
No, we'll-
Failure is not an option.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
not
think
an
we'll get
option.
through
We
it.
We'll
won't be,
totally
we
get
won't be
through it.
long-winded.
Yeah.
We have those
Thank you.
clickers now, it speeds it right along.
Great. Thanks, Bill. Thanks,
Technology.
Bob. Thanks, Pat. Okay, next we have, why don't we move on to Millbrook Meadow Committee? I love how you guys always bring such a nice crowd. Would you like all kind of
It is a
join
nice
behind the
crowd.
table?
Did John he went good.
He's going away.
Good.
I won't say
worked his-
anything, no. I don't think so. No, it would be
Anyways,
weird. I don't want to.
but gotta admire that. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
These
Nice.
stickers?
Thank you.
Oh, no, it's, okay, I see what.
Pretty.
Beautiful.
Opening was audible.
Oh,
No, it's fine.
welcome. We're ready. All you guys. Will you just make sure and introduce everyone, as always?
Okay, yeah. Thank you for having us here, Millbrook Meadow Committee. Barbara Sparks is our arts and play person. Shannon Mason is our vice chair, and Laura Hallowell is our liaison with the contractor and with DPW.
And you are?
I'm sorry? And you are? Oh, I'm Sam Colburn, chairman of the Millbrook Meadow Committee. And Eric Hutchins is a very valuable advisor to us. He knows a few things about fish and frogs that we'd
I
all
heard
like
that.
to know. We can see the finish line here. It's really exciting. We've been at this since 2012, and most of you folks have been with us on that. We spent, we've gained about a little over $1,200,000 from the town and $440,000 from donations and gifts. And we hope to start in October with the construction. And the person who is most knowledgeable about this, I'd like to have her give you a few words on that.
Okay, we had a telephone conference today, and the contractor expects to start soon after October 2nd, within the week. That's when we're allowed to because of the eel run restrictions, which you because of the migrating eels. They hope to conclude by the first of the year in terms of the construction work. Of course, the planting will happen in the spring when the soil temperatures are appropriate. And the construction will basically deal with the whole King Street side of the meadow, including the water course, which, as you know, is going to be naturalized, and a variety of things, which, if you have questions, let me know what your questions are. So we're not able to do absolutely everything that we have in our plans, but we're able to do the vast majority of the things. So I don't know, we thought that you would have questions about specifics that you have been asked that we could answer, rather than giving you a big presentation.
Sure.
And I'm not sure if Sam has more that he would like to say. The cost of the meadow restoration that we've signed on for, the contract is for $421,000. And of course, that's partial private funds and $360 from CPC.
May I?
Sure.
Please.
Murphy.
Are you concerned at all about, it's going to start, but you mentioned it towards the end of November, December, and so forth. Weather are you factoring that into?
Well, we don't have much choice because
Right.
we can't work.
They can
have to work between October 1st and March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
The contractor is aiming at doing the construction in the, completing before the first of the year.
Okay.
And of course, all the planting, and that's going to be a lot of it, will happen in the spring, and so, but
They're able to
it's
do
always
it,
a
though.
concern.
If we have
that-
a snowstorm in November, December, they'll be able
Yeah.
to. Oh, good.
They certainly persevered through horrible winter last year in the dredging, which was a more complex operation.
More so than this one coming up.
This has some fine tolerances to deal with, but in terms of just the amount of construction, it's significantly less.
Okay.
I don't know if everybody knows, including the public, but we're contracting with Sumco of Salem, and that's the same contractor that did the dredging job, and we were very happy with the work they did. There's some loose ends that they're cleaning up right now on the dredging, mostly about plantings and so forth, but we're glad that they were the low bidder and allowed us to proceed on with the second phase of this project.
Okay. Other questions?
It's not really quick, just an observation. This is one of those committees that I liken to Thatcher Island, where the synergy amongst all of the members is just, it's outstanding. And this project couldn't be in better hands than the folks that are here in this room. So thank you to all of you. It's really been great. And it's, to have a project of this magnitude that to some people it may seem simplistic and it's just a small park, but there are so many facets to it. And I've been to the meetings and I've heard them break down each individual aspect and address them, and everything has been carefully thought out with plenty of public input, so thank you for what you've done.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention the exhibit at the RAA revisioning Millbrook Meadow,
Yeah, the
which
card
is
is beautiful.
currently in progress, and
it's through the
seems well
20 through
received.
the 24th.
You're
Yes.
free to walk up to the second floor and see the pictures and buy a couple of
Great.
It is a fundraiser. It is the first,
Yeah.
maybe the first collaboration that the RAA has had with another town, with a town committee. So it's quite an exciting thing.
Great.
And we've been working on it for several months, and we have 36 paintings, 7 of which have been sold already.
Wow.
And it just opened on Sunday.
Wow.
And so it's very, it's uplifting to see it because they're all wonderful paintings of the meadow and the pond.
Yeah.
From the aspect of different artists, and they all see it a little differently. So it will be there through the 24th, and I would encourage you to stop in and see it.
Great.
I would love to, but My wife has told me if I buy another painting, I'll be looking for another place to live. But I will definitely stop
There
by.
you go.
They're not real big.
Yeah.
Yes, these are-
Okay, so I'll
Have you been to
see how
Paul's?
that goes
Have you
over.
been to Paul's house?
That would be the first painting in
Can
your
rehang
place.
some things for him if you like, though.
I have a quick question. So the plan, and I will admit, I'm not great with landscape plans, but it looks spectacular. It looks like it's going to be spectacular. What's the plan? So who will do like the regular upkeep once, like, like next summer? Will it be DPW?
DPW will continue to cut the grass
Okay.
and do, what happens now is there's a lot of volunteer work and they pick up some of the brush for us and things that we can't handle by ourselves. It is planned to be low maintenance.
Okay.
We can't quite anticipate what we're going to be seeing. And of course, this is a public and private endeavor, and so we will be working to see what we can do with volunteer expertise and what might be needed out of private funding and what we can work out with the DPW. So it'll be a shared mission.
Okay, right, and also it may be some training for the DPW in terms of caring, 'cause
They cannot be people who are pruning plants and doing that kind of hands-on work. So, but they've been very helpful as the whole park has kind of gotten freed up from the invasive plants. They've been very helpful with modifying their mowing for us and all of that. So we'll
Great.
be working together, and part of it is it's unknowable because most of the vegetation there is just junk and hasn't been managed.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether it's easier or harder.
great, it's so
But I-
exciting.
It's an excellent question. It's a real concern,
Yeah.
and we're, the town is up from 1938 until now has not spent much money on the meadow, and so we're gonna have to look at that and see what needs to be done as far as a budget for maintenance of the pond, pond and meadow, because we don't wanna have some
Right.
people standing up in front of your successors in 10 years and saying, boy, whatever happened to that mess?
You know something we don't know, Sam, here? You know?
I just wanted to add that one reason we founded the Conservancy, there are several reasons, but was to plan for the future.
Okay,
And it's
great.
always been in our thinking, as we put in our early CPC applications, to have an endowment for maintenance, because we
Yeah.
realize this is going to take some specialized.
Yeah, well, I think
Uh,
it's so important, and I think oftentimes CPC projects are so exciting, and it's like I'm starting work on one now for the upgrading the sport athletic fields around town, but the future is almost more important. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's as much as it will be exciting to have it planted in there. If we don't keep up
That's right.
with it, it was the money is not spent wisely, obviously.
Right.
And we learned that with the community house, like the wear and tear, the normal wear and tear on the community house that the town put over $2 million into. So I just want to make sure that we all together kind of plan appropriately for the future of
Yeah.
it, to keep it,
Absolutely.
because you all have put such an incredible amount of time and effort in, and we need to make sure it stays that way.
Yeah, it takes a lot of volunteer effort even now in its wild state, so we'll be interested to see if
Yeah.
it's more or less.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's important to make sure you maintain this, because if you don't maintain it,
Absolutely.
and you wait 5 or 6 years, then you're going
Uh-huh.
to probably spend more money
Right.
to bring it up to code, so to speak.
You can't wait. It has to be,
Right.
the contractor's responsible for a year, and you have to work with the contractor to make sure that that happens, and things have to be done immediately in order to make sure that the weeds don't get going, et cetera.
Yeah, do you get, with these types of projects, a warranty on
Yes.
is it a year warranty,
Yes.
basically? So to make sure that everything gets planted and then
Yes.
establishes roots and everything? Great. Well, this is so exciting. I love that Sam opened up with saying we can see the finish line, because it's so exciting when we can see the finish line of projects. So thanks to all of you, and I love that you just keep us posted. I love that you all come in every time. It's really nice. Yeah, Eric, did you want to make a comment?
A couple of updates on observations on the wildlife side of things. The amount of interest and stewardship on what's living in the pond has probably never been higher. A number of you've seen the sign down there that's keeping
cool.
updates.
Do you update that? Is it you
No,
that-
it's actually one of the abutters. It was her idea, which we do in
Jane
other
Bettis,
ways.
Who lives at 23 King Street.
Yeah, Jane Bettis, absolutely. I send her emails a couple times a week,
Cool.
and she gets observations from other people.
Eric, can you just identify yourself and your position only for the...
I'm Eric
record?
Hutchins. I live at 45 Pools Lane, and I'm an advisor to the committee. I try to help them out any way I can.
And you do for a living what?
Oh, I'm a fisheries biologist.
Okay.
For the National Marine Fisheries Service. But anyway, a couple little updates. The number of eels that we've caught this year, we're still catching them. We started catching eels as early as May, and we got some just a few days ago. We've been getting a slow, steady pick all summer long. We've got about 208 eels thus far this year that we've caught in the trap. That's a far cry from last year. Last year we had over 2,000, but I don't attribute that to anything to do with the project, good or bad. It's a very cyclical species that just comes in massive waves some years, and other years not as many. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. Other fish have returned quite nicely to the pond. No fish were returned intentionally that I know of. Those fish made it downstream from Loop Pond or the stream upstream. Maybe some kids thought to bring some back, which wouldn't be unheard of. We all did that as kids. But I've seen largemouth bass in there. I've seen hornpout, sunfish, and some minnows. And they were pretty much extirpated as part of the dredging project. We scooped out or killed literally thousands of fish and brought them upstream. They didn't all make it, but we saved as many as we possibly could last year. But a number of the fish are actually not young of the year. So adult fish have actually come downstream to repopulate the ponds a lot better than I would have expected. We've absolutely documented at least 3 adult snapping turtles, big adults, and we pulled 4 large snapping turtles out last year, and 1 baby, young of the year, still had its embryo sac attached to it, or just had gone in. And we thought we got every turtle out of there last year, but some would have already hibernated in the cattails and in the wetlands on the edge, so they were just waiting for the spring to come around. So it was kind of nice to actually have turtles back. I've seen all at once up to 6 painted turtles, so they actually settled in the wetlands as well. So it was nice to have the animals back, because a lot of people's concern was how long before they all come back. They all came back in 1 year.
At Eric's insistence, we, and a lot of pushing, we cut off a great big log and floated it in the pond and anchored it with chains, and that is a turtle sunning log. And if you walk down to the end of the bank on either side, you can see the turtles getting a suntan.
Fantastic.
And just one other update, as you know, we've had a lot of education projects there with local students and out of town, and in this coming Friday, Essex Voc Tech School will be coming back out to do some additional surveys on water quality, doing some netting of fish, and they're actually going to, I'm going to put them to work catching any eels and fish and turtles that we find in the lower meadow, and instead of bringing them to Loop Pond this time, all we gotta do is bring them upstream into the mill pond.
Cool.
So any fish, so it'll be part of the transplant effort that we'll do this Friday. I'm gonna just let them go. Here you go, guys. Take a bucket. Anything you find that's alive and wiggling, just bring a couple hundred feet upstream and let it go. And it gives everybody a good feeling to know that you're just doing the best we can. You know, save everything you can. That way there's some future resources for other people to appreciate. Thank you.
Cool.
Great job. Thank you.
exciting.
Thanks, Eric.
So-
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all. Great to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wonder if we should do Cape Ann plein air
They're
next.
here.
They're here. Do you guys have other people coming, or perfect? Do you want to do it now? Great.
Why don't you tell Sam what we did about home? Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, probably, you're right.
Good evening. We're like flying along tonight. I don't want to jinx us.
Keep it moving, right? Right, Susan? Keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are going to be quick. Absolutely. This.
No, not you, I'm talking us.
No, it's
Oh,
us.
you guys,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we
we're
will
s-
too.
Great.
These are the Cape Ann plein air Susans. I'm Susan Crown. This is Susan Coviello. Susan Coviello is our director, so she's going to tell you a little bit about the overall event, and then I'll talk a little bit about what's going on in Rockport.
Great.
So I have several iterations of my life in this room right now.
Sure you do.
Nice to see you, Mr. Murphy.
Nice to see you. too.
Paul and I worked together many years ago at the Manchester Essex Regional School District. I was on the school committee for
Many
13 or
years.
14 years, yeah.
You were the first chair of the regional committee
I was.
in 2001, I remember.
I'm really only 22.
Yeah.
And Ms. George and I know each other through my other job and we have crossed paths in Gloucester. So it's nice to see you too. And thank you all for having us.
Thanks for coming.
We're really excited about this Cape Ann Plein Air project. Are you familiar? Have you heard of it before?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So right behind you is a plein air artist right in the middle of that painting. There is someone outside painting that painting in plein air, which is out of doors, start to finish. There's no studio work, there's no finishing work, there's no photography. Everything is created right out on site. And it's a really exciting time to be on Cape Ann. It's October 7th through the 15th. So I'll give you brochures and I'll give you each a program book.
Oh, great.
So you can have those. Thank you. And I have some for anybody in the audience as well who might want them. So the artists are coming in on Sunday, October 7th.
Thank you.
They're coming into Essex, and we're going to have the opening evening in Essex. So the 40 artists who've been juried from all over the world. We have 37 American artists. We have 2 from Canada and 1 from Russia. And we have 4 local artists, including 2 Rockport artists, as well as an artist from Swampscott and 1 from Newburyport. I think that's where Alan is from.
Newburyport.
So they're coming to spend the week. If any of you know Karen Berger, she has arranged housing for the 40 artists for the 8 days. And that is a Herculean job. She does an amazing job matching artists to homes in all 4 communities. So they come into Essex on Sunday, and from Monday through Thursday, well, through Friday really, they paint in the 4 communities every day. We also have other activities, and you can see some of them if you go to the website, and there's a calendar of events also in the program book. And then it culminates on Saturday. There is a gala, a reception and sale at the North Shore Arts Association. Last year we had it here at the Rockport Art. This year it's at North Shore Art Association, where the 40 artists will hang 5 paintings, and they're sold. Hopefully, they're all sold. Judged first and
Judged
sold.
first.
We are
Did
one
they all
of the
sell
top.
last year?
Beg your pardon?
Did they all sell last year?
No,
No,
but
they didn't
many
all
did.
sell, but many did. We sold 120.
Really?
120,000 plus worth of work.
Wow.
But they're sold right that evening.
Yes.
You can-
That
And the
evening
next day.
and the next day,
Okay.
Yeah.
and a little bit on Monday.
Does each artist do one painting, or do some do multiple?
They can do as many as they want, and they can hang 5 at one time. So we'll hang 5 of their paintings, and then they'll have up to 3, because we don't have a whole lot of storage. If someone sells one off the wall, we can take one out of the basement and hang it up again.
But all of the ones that they hang are done here. They're not.
Yes.
They don't bring things.
No,
in
no.
to-
They all get stamped. They have to have a Cape Ann Plein Air 2018
Oh, okay.
stamp on the back. So that's part of what we do on Sunday when they get here, is stamp their canvases for the week.
And the 5 that are hung are judged. So the extras that they may have done, the artist makes the decision as to which 5 to hang. And the spares don't get judged.
Got it.
Right,
For
but they
prizes.
can
For
get
prizes.
hung. But they can
They
get
can
hung
get
if
hung.
something gets sold off the wall.
Right.
Applied Materials is our big sponsor again this year, and we're really grateful for their sponsorship. We also have a diamond level sponsor in Engel and Volkers. It's Karen Hansen, and she was Sotheby's by the Sea, and now she's Engel and Volkers. And we have many other sponsors as well. There are
Well,
prize
another diamond
sponsors.
sponsor from Rockport, the Bells, Jill and Stephen Bell very kindly are a diamond sponsor as well.
Right, right. And lots of other of the prizes are also sponsored. We have over $21,000 in prizes for the week, and it makes us one of the top 3 plein air events in the country, really, with our prize purse.
Wow.
And this is only our third. We've only done 2.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd year. So it's really pretty exciting. Obviously, you can tell we're excited about it. We did get a citation from the governor. He has declared October 7th through the 14th as Cape Ann Plein Air Week.
Oh, cool.
So one of the things I would like to ask the board, I was also a selectman in Essex, so we used to get these.
We
a lot.
did.
If you would be willing to declare the week as
sure.
Cape Ann Plein Air
Of
Week.
course.
That would be great. We're going to ask all 4 communities. Gloucester's agreed, and I'll go to Essex, of course, and I'll hit up Manchester as well.
Rock on.
So we just got this in the mail from Governor Baker, and we're grateful for that. And then we're advertising in some really beautiful magazines. This is Fine Art Connoisseur, and we have a full-page ad in that right here. So, and we're advertising locally as well. The Chamber is also a really big partner for us. We're really grateful to the arts organizations, the Chamber, businesses who have donated goods and services. You know, it's really quite, and we were voted
So the
best
sticker.
festival, best arts festival for North Shore, for the North Shore magazine this year.
Did you
So-
do this type of booklet last year? You
We did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
And the year
Ken
before.
came last year and spoke to us. Ken Reel came and spoke to us.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I think he did.
But we never saw. I don't think it might have been before and Karen, but I think it might have been before the book came
They
out.
came out later last year.
Okay.
We have them, luckily, we have them
Yeah.
earlier this year. They're going
Yeah.
into Boston, into the concierges in Boston hotels. They're going into the local inns and hotels on
Yeah.
Cape Ann. So we're really trying to promote it as much as we can.
Yeah. Who does your marketing materials?
So that's
somebody.
Annie, Art New England.
Some-
Art New
local?
England. It's the same. They're the same people who do the Rockport music program.
Okay, cool.
They
It's like
do a really nice job.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Beautiful.
gorgeous. Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy learning about the artists. I hope you will consider coming to at least one of the events, and
Yeah.
certainly the second biggest signature event is the Rockport event on Sunday. And
Okay.
Right.
Susan's going to tell you a little bit about that.
So the 2 Rockport events this year, we have an artist demo going on the Thursday around noontime, and as you'll see in the book, there's an artist demo every day. So we try to spread them around the communities. The Rockport one is on Thursday, and it's Stapleton Kearns. We're very excited to have gotten him to do our demo, so that'll be great. But the big event, as Susan just said, is the wet paint competition. We call it a quick draw, which will be on the Sunday. So the artists will, it will be headquartered at the Rockport Art Association and Museum. Artists will come in, register, and again, be stamped. This is open to local artists. Anybody who wants to sign up and pay their $20 entrance fee is welcome to come and paint. So far, I think we have 77 artists signed up, including our 40 juried artists. They're eligible to participate. All 40 of them may or may not choose to, but then we have space for another 80. And so they come in, they register, they get stamped again, they go out and they paint. Literally, we blow a horn at 9 o'clock and we blow another horn at 11, and that's it. For this competition, they only are able to submit one work. They can, again, if they can paint more than that, great. And some of them do, believe it or not. But they will bring one work back to the Art Association. The work, again, will be hung and will be judged. The same competition judge will be judging the quick draw. We're going to give 2 sets of prizes at the quick draw. One will go to our juried artists, and then there's another set for the non-juried artists. So our local artists who want to compete in that have a whole separate series of prizes that they're competing for, both cash and some gift certificates and some things like that. And then we open to the public at 1 o'clock for a little reception and, again, sales. So we're hoping that people will buy that work as well. So we'll be open that day from 1 to 5, and then the next day we'll be open from 10 to 3. So, and then we'll be open from 10 to 3 at both the North Shore Arts Association for the plein air competition and here in Rockport from 10 to 3 for the quick draw work.
Are there any other plein air events in Massachusetts, or is this the only one that occurs?
I don't know of any in Massachusetts, but
Yes,
there are
but they're all over
others.
the country.
There's one going
Oh,
on,
sure.
there's one in Bath, Maine, there's a big one in Bath, Maine. They're all over the country, but I don't know of any other one in.
I don't know
maybe
off the
out in
top of
west.
my head there might be
Western
one
part of
out
the
west, but certainly around that time of year, no. The next big event is there's one in California and one in Texas, and so
Right.
a lot of our artists are kind of going from one to the next to the next to the next. And some of our local folks, like for example John Caggiano, who you all probably know, John tends to kind of do the circuit and paint in a lot of these events.
Wow. So how many artists did you have apply this year?
We had 188.
188.
Yes,
and how
we had
many,
nearly 200.
How many last year? Do you know offhand?
fewer, a few fewer. It was like 170 or
Really?
something last year.
So what we do is we have the 4 top winners. So the first, second, and third winners at the gala, as well as the quick draw judged, the Kappa quick draw winner, get invited back. So
Okay.
we actually only jury in 36 artists.
Okay.
And this year we have 9 new artists, 9 artists who have never been, I think it's 9, 7 or 9, new artists who have not been in our competition before. And that's really exciting for us because these guys they're masters at what they do. And if you look through the plein air events around the country, you'll recognize the same, same 10 or 15 names that pop up at all the quick draw events. I mean, all the plein air events. So it's really nice to have some new folks coming here. Certainly they're all familiar with Cape Ann and they can't wait to come.
And we also look forward to them maybe bringing some new people to
Right.
Cape Ann who've never been there before.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So-
What was the
Great
event?
time of year, too.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah.
great.
You
What
know,
was the
we-
event Stapleton Kearns? Stapleton Kearns is one of my favorite artists ever.
He's doing a demo on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay.
At noon at Rockport Art.
Noon.
Got it. Okay.
We picked October because it's a shoulder season for this area. You know, it's
Right.
everything's sort of quiet, except not so much for Rockport because the Harvest Festival is the day before this year.
But we're not
certainly,
conflicting with the gala anymore.
right. But certainly, it's a quieter time of year for restaurants and inns and hotels, and we love the idea of bringing business,
Yeah.
extending the season a little bit more.
Right, right before the holidays. and-
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like fascinating. I just love how much what it's become. I remember just the first year. So besides naming the week, is there anything else we can do to support?
Yes, you can come to our events
Yeah.
and encourage your friends
And
and
tell,
neighbors
and tell
to-
your friends and neighbors.
Yeah,
and-
definitely. Yeah.
And seriously, if anyone has businesses or would like more of these, we
Okay.
have more of these. We have rat cards.
Can I leave the rat
you know,
cards
so
in
we're
case
just-
somebody
Sure.
wants
Yeah,
to?
we're
please
just,
do.
you know, we just
This
want to
is-
get the
This
word
definitely
out.
makes it to the town website too, correct?
Yes, we have the
Yes.
information. We'll put it on the website.
Yeah.
Actually,
Perfect.
it's already on there, I believe. There's already a link under our visitors
I think
tab
there is.
for
Yeah.
Cape Ann
We'll
Plein
double
Air.
check. And the Rockport Art, you know, because again, we're all trying to co-market.
Love Kenny.
and
Yeah, but
And
I
if
just
you're
love
on
the whole idea of
Facebook,
it.
we have a wonderful Facebook page and a
Okay.
great social media manager.
great.
And she posts things twice a day, and right now she's posting a painting by an artist every day. So she's going through that. So it's a good way to follow. The calendar is there. But we really do hope that you will help us celebrate the creative economy on Cape Ann.
Yeah,
Because really,
great.
that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
You have our support.
Yeah, definitely. This
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Great.
You can speak for me.
Thank you so much,
Without a
both of
doubt.
you, for coming in. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait. This is so exciting.
Thanks
If you
so
have
much.
any other questions, please feel free to reach out
Definitely.
to us.
Great. And you're going to leave some rack cards. Perfect.
Yes, I can send you the language that's in all the whereases if you'd like it.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
email
You
that to.
Perfect.
Shall I email that
That'd
to
be
you?
great.
Sure.
Thank
And we
Okay.
can we'll do it at our next meeting.
Great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Terrific.
much.
definitely.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
and-
Nice to see you both.
And we look forward to seeing you in October.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, my God. We were just talking about Robbie today. You know who came in? Remember Susie Dorsey?
Or John and Ken, the two Rockport artists this year. John and Ken Knowles.
Yes.
Yeah.
30?
I love Ken's
Robbie's
work.
27.
27.
I love
Yeah.
Ken's work.
I
Yeah.
give him a couple of years, so.
I'll tell him you
Yeah.
said hi. Thank
Please
you
do.
so
How's
much.
Eric doing?
He's good.
Good.
It's 10 years in, so he's getting a little tired.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, thanks so much. Nice to see you.
Bye, Susan.
Thank you
Thank
very
you guys.
much.
Bye.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you. Exciting.
That's
The
great.
materials are beautiful too. Yeah.
And it's the second biggest one.
That's cool.
And
It's
only
only the
2
third
years.
year.
Third.
Third year.
Third.
Third
Yeah.
year.
That's all right.
Soon to be. Awesome.
Okay, all the way back. Approval of minutes. Can we do one motion for all of them?
I have to abstain from one.
Okay, which one?
August 7th. I wasn't here.
You could do everything except that one?
Yeah, want to do everything except that one? Somebody want to make a motion?
I have the first motion, so do
What?
you want me to?
From each one? Okay, so we'll just do each one
I
separately.
think one was the 24th. I think I was away.
Oh, right.
We can each make one for.
Ruth will just need to abstain on the April 7th. That was
Oh.
pre-election.
Before your
Pre-election, you weren't here. Okay. All right, so, Do you want to make a motion for April 7th?
Yeah, well, so we're gonna do them individually?
We have to do them individually,
That's
yeah.
fine. Madam Chair, I move that the selectmen approve the minutes of April 7th, 2018.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any comments on any of them?
No.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
I'll
Motion
abstain.
carries. One abstention. May 30th, 2018.
I
Denise, you wanna do
move that
one?
the selectmen approve the minutes of May 30th, 2018.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
nay. Motion carries. July 10th.
I move that the selectmen approve the minutes of July 10th, 2018.
Seconded.
Motion. No, Sarah, I was going to say. I think that one. Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
I'll abstain. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
I'm out of
nay.
this one,
You're out of the 10th?
the 24th.
Okay, the next one, yeah. So 10th passes. 24th.
I move that selectmen approve the minutes of July 24th, 2018.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Further discussion? Neither of us were here? Okay.
You weren't either, yeah. right.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then August 7th.
I move that the selectmen approve the minutes of August 7th, 2018.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded. No Paul, no Denise.
What's that?
You're abstaining from this one?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great.
Bam.
Sadly, accept the resignation of, Selectmen and Town Administrator updates. I'm like not, I think I should have worn my glasses tonight. My eyes are tired. Updates, I don't think I have any from last week. 'Cause I think I gave them last
Nope.
week.
I have a couple.
Go ahead, please.
After I left here last week, I went to the Board of Health, and my first meeting of that as the liaison. It was very interesting. They had the school superintendent there and the school committee to talk about a new project they want to get into the schools of doing a behavioral health assessment for the students, which would be very good at 7th and 10th grade. So they were beginning to talk about that, so it was very interesting. One of the things they wanted me to remind people is the Board of Health presents the Be Ready to Save a Life campaign, teaching people to how CPR, choke saver, Narcan, and AED training, since we have so many AEDs around the town, that's open to people, and they're going to be doing more, but
Can I
that's
borrow
coming
that
up.
for a second?
Yep,
I
that's
was
coming
supposed
up
to take
in
a picture of
October.
it. Oh.
Actually, you need to, now, the new law that came in on on July 1st is you have to have a defibrillator at every athletic event.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Because it
Yep.
happens so many times, not so
Yeah.
much the athletes,
Yep.
but, people in the stands
Yep.
and so forth.
Yeah.
And it can save lives.
The next night, I went to the DPW Commissioners meeting. I wasn't able to stay for all of it, but again, that's very enlightening and what's going on and all the projects they're working on around town. And tonight, I have the Economic Development Committee meeting after this over at the library.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
I've been quiet on mine.
I have one thing. I also went to the Board of Health meeting with Ruth last week to speak to the committee about the Article O, the plastics ban, just answer any questions they had and kind of give an overview of the genesis of that.
Great.
What was the,
Yeah, they were very supportive.
yeah,
Yep.
Very.
especially that Murphy lady?
Yeah, she was
but
especially
she can be a
supportive.
handful.
Oh, I remembered one that I had. And I think I forgot to mention this last week. I forget what day it was, but we were all invited and attended the staff opening meeting by the superintendent
Oh,
up at the
yes.
school,
Right.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
very
which
nice.
I thoroughly enjoy.
Yes,
Yeah, that was
very
great.
nice.
And I have gotten a ton of feedback from both the superintendent and head of the school committee how much they appreciated us being there and how much
Yep.
they really feel
Yeah.
like we're on the same team.
Yep.
And then tomorrow night, there is a meeting for school parents, so I'll wear both my hats about the Alice, the school security training and what they're going to be doing with the kids this year. So I will attend that, and I'll keep everyone posted on
Great.
that.
That
But I
is-
know the staff has been fully trained, and the police chief and the superintendent are working very closely, along with our school resource officer, Phil Wesley, and things up there are going really well in terms of that.
I've I've attended Alice training, and we've done it in my school numerous times. It's very scary. I mean, it has to be. You have to, you know, to put together some type of scenario to make kids really, you know, it's kids will. I mean, I know they pare it down in the elementary schools, but through the high school, you know, you got to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So it's sadly that we've spent a tremendous amount of time on stuff like that in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're off to a great start
Yep.
with the school year and the superintendent and the school committee.
Yep.
Coastal Sweep was coming up too.
Yes.
Coastal Sweep on the
It's Saturday.
17th.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
Yes.
Cleaning the
15th.
beaches.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's a good one. Yep.
Great. Lots going on.
Good.
Okay, Mitch, you're good for tonight? Great.
Thank you.
And Mitch, thanks so much for your hard work getting us ready for town meeting. I feel like it's going so smoothly. 99.9% of that is because of your work, like our end of it. You know what I mean? In terms of the motions and the warrants. Thanks for all of your work on that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And Debbie as well. Yeah. Okay, action list. Accept the resignation of Maura Wadlinger from the Cultural Council.
I believe that's me, right? Yes, I move that the board accept the resignation of Maura Wadlinger from the Rockport Cultural Council effective immediately.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded, and thanks to Maura for her service on that. I know Maura and thank her. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Appointment of Jeffrey Juveler as a member of the Building Study Committee.
I move that the board appoint Jeffrey Juveler to the Building Study Committee for a term to expire June 30th, 2019.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Nope. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we have appointments to the Cultural Council.
I move that the board appoint Laura Kozacek and Christine Downing for terms in the Rockport Cultural Council to expire June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
None. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, David Whitley.
He was separate. That was.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Oh,
move
different term
Different
date.
term.
His is-
2020, 2019. I got it. There you go. I move that the board appoint David Whitley for a term on the Rockport Cultural Council to expire on June 30th, 2020.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of a transient vendor's license for Exhibit.
I move that the selectmen approve and have the chairperson sign a transient vendor's license for Exhibit of 55 Main Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Can you explain what this, I'm a little bit
I know.
confused by this, Mitch.
I'm sorry, I was just.
Sorry,
catching up my
that's
agenda.
okay. It's, Exhibit.
So, the exhibit piece, yeah.
Hold on.
Let's just
There
take
it
a
is.
quick
What
look.
was her name?
So it's
Starts-
55 Main Street.
Yes.
Jesus, drives me crazy. There. No. But it says to sell and offer to sell art and goods to the public. But it's not a store?
It's an art gallery and antique store.
Okay. What's at
55 Main Street.
55 Main Street? Do you know?
55 Main Street, I believe, I think it's a mixed-use building. I think there's shop on the first floor and
Okay.
home on the second floor. I believe it. If I'm placing it right on the street, I believe that's the case.
Okay.
Where is it?
55 Main Street. I think should be on the right-hand side going up.
Okay.
I believe it's a mixed-use building.
Okay.
Catherine Squillis.
You know what? Hold on. I'm just going
I'll
to
find
Google it. Are you?
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
just
jump
take
Okay.
onto it.
Sorry, I meant to check this before.
You might get there before me, but
Let's see. We'll race. Oh, yes.
Which one is it?
It's, hold on. It's coming up. It was small. Oh, it's, where Walt Julian's used to be, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was confused for some reason. Okay.
55, there it is right
Yeah.
there.
Walt Julian's.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
missed it.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Any further comments or
Nope.
questions on that one? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then, I know we already approved that, the sign permit for the knot, but we should make sure it's the knot shore,
Yeah, not
not
store.
store.
Yes.
I think I
We will,
realized it partway through while
Yeah,
he
me
was
too.
here, right?
We will double check.
Just make sure that
that's
his,
correct.
his permit says it properly.
Absolutely.
And then, last but not least, approval of the AFSMI memorandum of agreements. Memorandums.
I move that the Board, excuse me, of Selectmen sign the memorandums of agreement with the AFSCME supervisors and foremen and the AFSCME general units, thereby ratifying the terms and conditions therein.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Do you want to comment on these, Mitch?
Certainly, Madam Chair. We have agreements with both of our AFSCME units, the general unit and the supervisors and foremen. The primary objective for the MOAs for both of the units is to bring us into compliance with the Janus ruling that came down from the U.S. Supreme Court that basically says that individuals are not required to pay union dues or an agency fee. So this provides the flexibility, instead of two classifications, dues paying and agency fee paying, there's now really a third one, which is a non-paying member. So this allows for that flexibility as required by law.
Okay.
And also, on the general unit one, we realized that we needed to adjust the rate for the weekend sewer pump station stipend that we
right.
have to be in compliance with overtime rules. The rate had changed, and we realized we needed to just fix that rate to accommodate that adjustment as well.
Great.
All right.
Any comments on this?
Nope.
Okay.
I have one question on the, if they opt out, do they lose any union representation of any, if it's legal counsel, things like that, do they lose anything?
So they're still technically a member. They're just not paying. As to whether they lose it, the union is still obligated to represent them. I would say that they would not be as active, but they are still obligated under the law. They can't discriminate against them for not paying dues or an agency fee.
Great. Interesting. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business or announcements? So next Monday night, town meeting, you'll post us for 6:30. And if anything comes up between now and then, just let us know. We can
Certainly.
get there early.
I'm sure he will. That's a compliment.
Thank you.
Okay. The library at the, in the high school library.
library.
High school library, not elementary school. Okay. Yeah. So to the right. Yeah. Okay.
The Mrs. Miller Library.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. You're gonna make it.
On time for roast beef.
Happy wife.
We're on our way.